Hey guys, hey. So I'm gonna come on here for just a few minutes and tell you what's going on, and like I am very anxious. I've made this video 50 times and each time I'm just like, my band is malfunctioning. I have pain and my port has flipped and I am throwing up and feeling really sick, and my doctor and I have decided that we're going to remove it in June, and we're going to let me heal for 2 months, and then if I'm still unable to start my weight to go down, we are going to be revising me to a distal bypass. If you don't know what a distal bypass is, all that is going in there and shortening the common channel more than it already is. So it's essentially like a DS but for bypass patients. So there's so much to say. Like I said, I'm really anxious. Sorry guys. The reason why we're doing it in June instead of right now is because my mom's coming to visit me. She's coming up in the end of May, and I'm super crazy excited because we're gonna go do some fun stuff, and you guys will see that on the vlog, and you guys will see that all over Facebook. So be ready for that at the end of May, beginning of June. And then his first OR time, since it's not critical, like what's happening to me is not critical, like I'm not gonna die. It's not damaging me any further than it already has. Sorry, I just had something to eat and my stomach's not agreeing. And this is another reason. If I eat on point, if I eat dense protein to stay full, if I eat the things that I know I need to eat, I feel sick. I feel sick for hours. I burp the entire time, and then oftentimes I will vomit. And it doesn't matter if he takes water out of my band or if he adds. Or if he adds water to my band. My pouch is not dealing with it very well, and my body wants it out. So, you know, he agrees. We've had it in there for a year. I'm not tolerating it anymore. It's time to get it out of there. So, now with that said, I haven't made my mind up completely about the distal, but my husband is pushing for it pretty hard. I have the support of my mother-in-law, I have the support of my mother, I have the support of, you know, close friends. I have, you know, I have a great support system with you guys, and I know that, you know, those of you that care about me are of course going to have my back no matter what, so I'm not even worried about that. I worry about the malnutrition aspect of the distal bypass because that is something serious. I worry about the vitamin deficiencies because that too is very serious. Essentially, it's the same thing as a DS, but for gastric bypass. So I will be taking vitamins like a DS patient. I will be eating like a DS patient. Now you're going to ask me how come I don't get a DS, and excuse me. Because instead of 4 astomoses, which means 4 different places he has to cut, move around, shorten, lengthen, whatever, this one's only 1. So it's less trauma to do this one than it is for him to go in there and try to fucking move everything around, you know, trying to play Tetris with my insides. So, you know, it's not that he can't give me a DS. He says that he would not suggest that. He says that that would not be something, that there's a huge margin of error and leakage and stuff with that one because I didn't have a sleeve and because I had the band put in. So, very anxious. I'm very, very anxious about this video. I have tried to make it since yesterday. And each time I delete it because I don't, like, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous to see what you guys are going to say. I'm really nervous to see if you guys are going to hate on me. And, you know, I sat and talked to him for a really long time, and I'm sorry guys, I'm emotional. In my head, you guys know I feel like I failed twice now. And each time it's due to complications, and it's not my fault, but it doesn't feel that way in my head. Like, I had no control over my port, flipping. I had no control over my band doing what it's doing. I have no control over the way they did my gallbladder and how they stretched the bottom of my stoma out. Like, I had no control of those things. But in my head, it's all in here, in my head, I feel like, well, you've had 2 chances now, and 2 chances you failed to lose all of your weight and keep it off. And that is a very hard burden to bear. It is a very hard thing for me to think about. And in August, I will be 3 years out of my gastric bypass. And when I sat and talked to him about it yesterday, he was like, you were never meant to get to goal with your gastric bypass. And for my original surgeon to tell me that I would get to goal was unrealistic. So when I didn't hit my own personal goal, or even his own personal goal for me, I felt and have felt like a gigantic failure. And that is one of the hardest things I have ever gone through, is to know that I've had 2 surgeries, and even after 2 surgeries I could not get where I needed to go. He also said that what I'm battling is a horrible disease, and if anybody looks at it any differently, then they are uneducated and don't know what they're talking about. He said that trying to paddle upstream is what I'm doing. The rapids are fast, and I am in a very small canoe, and I'm constantly trying to push myself upstream. And I said, well, would it be possible for me to just, continue to work out and continue to eat the way I'm eating and, lose my weight without the band? And he said, no, because you are predispositioned to be 300 pounds. Like, that is where your body is set to be right now, and it will not allow you to go any lower and stay. I managed to get to 287 after my panaculectomy. Right after my panaculectomy. And then I saw it starting to creep back up. And I have been recycling the same 20 pounds since October. So I have been recycling the exact same, losing up, losing down, losing up, losing down, all this time, and that's maintenance. Like, that's where my body is happy. It is happy being 300 pounds. And unless I do something more drastic, I will never see anything lower than that, he said. And this is a very, very intelligent man, so I'm going to trust what he says. There are things in, how can I put it? There's a meme that goes around, and it's got Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's holding his drink up, and it says, be careful of the ones, make sure you watch out for the ones who don't clap when you win. Meaning that be careful of friends who say you're their friend, but when you're winning, they are not interested in being your friend. Like, they're secretly wishing that you lose. And I have had my share of those people, and I'm slowly weeding them out And it's hard for me because I like being the nice person. I like being the, oh, everybody's wonderful, and, you know, you got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and, you know, there's always something good about somebody, and, you know, maybe they just didn't mean it that way. Sometimes they do. And in the weight loss community, I see it more often than I would like. Like when people are losing weight and you're not. And instead of being a big cheerleader and being like, fuck yeah, I can't believe you're losing weight, you look awesome, you're like, oh yeah, you're awesome, you're doing so good. But secretly you're like, oh yeah, well, it's because she had the sleeve, or it's just because, you know, she had the DS, or, you know, it's because she didn't start off as big as me, or it's because this, or it's because of that. That's an issue. That has nothing to do with that person. It has everything to do with you. You know, if you can't be happy for somebody, if you're not like cheering on somebody who is doing better than you, or looking better, or who is losing more, or who can get in a smaller dress size, or who's gotten plastics, or whatever that spectrum is, that has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you, and you need to step back and think about that, because that's not cool. And I talk about that a lot because nobody else does, and that's what I do here. I broach the shit nobody else wants to talk about. So I am going to have Matthew do a video with me to give you guys his perspective on doing the distal, because I know you guys seem to have liked that a lot. So yeah, this next couple months here, oh boy, yeah, my oh boy. One thing I did kind of wanna broach is that I'm not telling anybody not to get a band. Okay, I'm not telling anybody not to get a band over bypass. Results are not typical, just like Scotty RNY and I talked about the other day. Results are not typical for everybody else. Like, just because you lost 100 pounds doesn't mean the next person is going to lose 100 pounds. Just because somebody lost 200 pounds in 6 months doesn't mean that you will lose 200 pounds in 6 months. Just because somebody can fit in an extra large and they weigh the same as you and you're the same height, you know, doesn't mean the same thing. So in my, you know, in my head, you know, sorry, somebody messaged me and I got distracted. Results are not typical for everybody else. Like, you cannot compare your journey to anybody else's out here. And I don't want anybody thinking that I am just, you know, telling you not to get the RNY and not to get the band, or not to get this or that and this, because that's not the reason for my channel. My channel is showing you what's going on in my journey and how things are going for me and how hard this is for me. So if someone else happens to go through this, they're not alone. Because I don't have anybody else. I don't have anybody to look to right now. I don't have anybody else who has had 2 of these things go wrong and be like, so did you get the distal? How does that work good for you? How's that working? I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody to look to and be like, hey, my port flipped and it actually pushed underneath my rib cage. How did you get that out? I don't have anybody. That's what this channel is for, is because I have been through this and I'm sharing it so that if someone else, God forbid, has to go through this shit too, you've got somebody to talk to. You've got some videos to look back on, like my panaculectomy stuff, where I show you all the scars and I show you how to do your drain and I show you the medicine that I took and how I took it and how I ate after it. That's what this is for. And I hope, against hope, that over the next couple months you guys will continue to support and love me. And, you know, I understand if some of you don't, but, you know, I don't need fair weather friends. Like, I've had my share of those, you know, people who only come around when life is good, or the opposite, when people only come around when things are going wrong because they like to bask in your negativity. They like to feel better about themselves by seeing how terrible your life is. And those are people that I don't want in my life either. All right, guys. So, so damn, I've got so much to say in this damn video. I am starting myself. I got Wellbutrin, so I'll be starting that. Hopefully, in a couple weeks, I can tell you how that's making me feel. Let's see what else. I'm on a shit ton of asthma medications because I got my results back and my asthma's getting bad. I'm gonna have to go for a sleep study as well soon to see how my CPAP, if I need to use it again. So I just took some allergy, like I took a allergy panel test today, so that it takes 2 weeks to come back and I can see what I'm allergic to, which is obviously something, because as you can see, I'm yeah, like I said, my mom will be here at the end of May. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave them down below. You can ask me anything whatsoever. If you guys are new to my channel and you made it this far, thank you, because I talk a lot, y'all. My life is a hot mess. Yeah. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and let me know what you guys think. If you know anybody with a distal, or you know anybody who's had any of these issues, send them my way. I love your beautiful, gorgeous, amazing faces. Thank you for always being here for me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.